All right. I haven't done one of these for a while. I don't even know what week we're up to now. I haven't done one of these for about 7 weeks or something like that. 6 weeks, 5 weeks. I don't know. It's let's call it week 35 of my 2022 contest preparation. So, since last update, I've done the ICN State Championships, where I somehow got placed second. I've done the ICN National Championships, where I somehow got placed first, won my pro card, entered the pro division, won the pro division, and I am now pro Mr. Australia. Interesting. Anyway, I was fairly surprised about all that. I wrote a massive blog post that a few people were a bit annoyed about because it took too long to read or they didn't even want to read it. So I might talk through that now. So that post was about literally the last 6 years, pretty much, since I became a father. It's actually exactly 6 years from yesterday since I became a father. So happy birthday, little Ilya, for yesterday. So we'll start at the birth. I have a kid. I'm naturally a very selfish and intrinsically focused person. I love just organizing my life around my own eating, training, and sleeping. And I feel like I was extremely good at doing that. I love routine, and I just loved, going to bed every night and knowing I'd trained as hard as I could, hit all my meals, and was going to get 8-9 hours sleep, ready to go again the next day. Have a kid, change my mindset. So now I want to revolve my life around my child rather than myself. And I feel like I just moved too far in that direction and really did feel like I lost a lot of myself in the process. Obviously, in the scheme of things, bodybuilding is not as important as raising a child and being a good parent. But being a good parent involves not being miserable and depressed as well. So when you don't give yourself enough priority and make good choices that serve you positively, you can end up in a pretty shit place. And someone that had never suffered any form of mental illness and never thought they could ever suffer any form of mental illness, that being me, I felt like I was psychologically a lot stronger than most people in regards to many things, not just not being depressed, but just things in life in general. For me to find myself in a depressive state was at first I was completely unaware of the state that I was in. And when I did become self-aware, it was a relief, but also a shock at the same time, because I never thought I could be that person. So the realization that I was more human than I thought I may have been was really grounding. Yeah. But it also gave me the opportunity to work through it, because before I realized I was depressed, I was extremely confused about the situation I was in and why I was making the choices I was making in regards to just everything. It was probably a downward spiral for the 3 years after I became a father, at which point I became self-aware of the position I was in, started educating myself on psychology, mental health, and began to work my way through what I was dealing with and trying to get out of the hole that is depression. So before I became aware of my situation, I was aware of poor choices I was making, but I didn't seem able to make the right choices to improve my circumstance. I seemed to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over, hoping for a different result, which generally does not work. So it took me a while to realize where I was and to actually make some positive steps towards getting better. And I think probably the first step I took, I tried to make it easy and simple and achievable, something I could do every day. And that was just to stop skipping meals, just to get back into a routine diet-wise. It's something that I'd always been good at in the past. It was something that just came naturally to me in the past, and it was something that I'd let slip away since I'd had a kid for whatever reason. So that was the first thing I did, I believe. I just was consistent with my foods and started prepping all my meals again and taking foods with me and just trying to eat like a bodybuilder again. And that first little step sort of gets you in a better frame of mind and gets you into better shape physically as well. And that just kind of snowballs in a positive sense. When you're feeling better and you're looking better, it's easier to keep making those little positive changes. And I can't talk through everything that I started doing in order because I can't remember, but I just took myself from living the life of, I guess, a more average Joe, towards that of a robotic, autistic bodybuilder again. And it was a slow process, but I kept moving forward and slowly started feeling more like my old self again. Probably the major catalyst was a bet I made with a client about 3 years ago. I can't remember what the bet actually was about, but if he lost, I said that he has to do a male physique comp because he'd never competed before, and that was something he was scared about. And we couldn't figure out what to make me do if I lost the bet. We were brainstorming weird and wonderful things. We tried not to make it monetary. We tried to make it something a bit more entertaining. And then one day he sort of had the idea that I need to compete again. And when he said it, it was like the absolute worst thing in the world for me to agree to at that point in time. I would say 3 years ago, I was literally in the worst position psychologically and physically that I feel I've ever been in my life. I'm not saying that I was in a incredibly terrible position compared to a lot of other people in this world, but for someone that I guess has never been through a lot of physical trauma, psychological trauma, for me it was a terrible place. So to decide to compete in that state was a horrible decision. I felt I was giving myself the absolute best chance of failing in regards to even making it to the stage. And if I was to make it to the stage, being in an absolute terrible state physically and mentally compared to where I had been in the past as well. So to agree to that bet was daunting. But ironically, it was probably the best decision I ever made. So the fact that I was possibly going to be forced to compete again, it kicked me in the ass, and everything just started slipping back into place. My diet, I'd already sort of tried to fix up a bit. My training picked up again. I started training harder. I think I've spoken about it in the past, but I never realized how essential for me some form of intense physical exercise is for me, mostly psychologically, not physically. Again, for whatever reason, don't need to go into details now about that, but I need an intense physical outlet to remain in a stable state of mind. So training harder again, eating well, which was allowing me to recover from my training and train hard thereafter. Trying to sleep a tiny bit more. My sleep was absolutely disgusting probably 3 years ago. Like, nights I was sleeping probably 3.5 hours, and then during the day I think my daughter had stopped napping, so I think I was only napping for maybe 60 minutes or something like that. Like, I don't know how I was surviving on such little sleep. My sleep's still pretty terrible. Generally get about 4.5 to 5 hours at night, and then a 90-minute nap the next day. But I've lost the ability to nap sometimes, and that 90-minute nap just becomes a lie down rather than actual sleep. So that's really something I still need to get right. After this comp prep, I'll have a little bit more time. I've been doing cardio after work in the mornings. I've been doing cardio after work in the evenings. And that's taking up a bit of time, and time where I'd be just going home and prepping dinner and getting ready and going to bed. So, and in the mornings after work, I'd be going home, prepping a meal and having a nap. So I reckon I can at least save an hour and a half from not doing cardio at the gym after work in the mornings and the evenings. So that should be an extra hour and a half in bed. So if I'm getting 6 hours now, and I can get 7.5 going forward, that's almost okay. In the past, 8.5 to 9 hours every day was my total sleeps, and I felt like an absolute machine. Like I could run through a brick wall and nothing would hurt me. So I'm not going to say I'm going to get back to that, because I don't see it happening with my work hours and my parental responsibilities these days. So I'm not going to talk shit and say, yeah, I'm going to sleep 9 hours going forward. But I reckon 7.5 is achievable. And compared to what I've been getting, I think physically I'll respond to that, and I'll be in an even better place. So where am I right now? I haven't given you an update for so long. I've had a couple comps. I'm a pro bodybuilder. It's weird. It's very weird. 24 years of lifting. And I definitely never focused on winning a pro card, getting my pro card and calling myself a professional athlete. But to be awarded a pro card and to be able to call myself a professional athlete is pretty cool. And I do rate my consistency and my routineness and dedication and intensity, and if I compare myself to other athletes. So the fact that I've actually got a title as a pro, it's rewarding. It's rewarding for the last 24 years of effort. Not that that's what I was putting effort towards, but the fact that you get rewarded for it is nice. So I am 2 days away from my last show of the season. I wasn't going to do this show. After ICN Nationals, that was supposed to be it. But I had a close friend, Rhett, and even my partner actually pushing me to do another show a couple of weeks later. They knew I wasn't 100% happy with my conditioning at Nationals. Even though I won, I wasn't shredded as such. I was lean. I was leaner than most people, but I wasn't 100% conditioned. And to be honest, I won't be 100% conditioned for this show either. I probably need another 2 or 3 weeks to get 100% in shape, but I'm getting better. Literally last night, I messaged my mate Rhett and I said, hey, I'm 84.5 kilograms. I know if I drop food and water, I can get under 80 for weigh-ins, and I can weigh in under 80, carb up, and be mid 80s for the under 80 category on the day of the comp. I said, should I do it, or should I just cruise in and just spend the last 2 days like I normally would, deplete a little bit and then carb load before the show? He's dropped water and food before, and that's actually how he won his pro card. So he told me to do it, and I was quite excited about taking on the challenge. I've never dropped food and water before. I've water fasted before and had no food for an entire week, and I actually felt fantastic. But I've never dropped water for such an extended period before. So yeah, I thought the challenge was actually exciting, and I was looking forward to taking it on. So I'm almost 24 hours into I'm about 21 hours into the fast at the moment. And to be honest, I've actually been cheating. I've had sips of water, and I've actually had a little bit of whey with very minimal water. I woke up this morning 2.5 kilos lighter than what I weighed in at after training last night. So from just not drinking after dinner last night and not eating breakfast this morning, 2.5 kilos down when I weighed in at the gym, which is huge. But it just showed me how much food I actually put into my system every day. Like at the moment, I'm having 5 feedings, and literally every feeding is 1 kilogram or more. So at the end of the day, that's 5 kilograms of food I've put through my system. So all I have to do is stop eating, and I assume that 4.5 kilos is gone. Obviously, I need to poop it out. But my poops during the end of a prep are like rabbit poops. It seems my body just eats everything I consume, and there's very little waste product. It becomes extremely efficient at utilizing everything I eat. And probably because I'm eating so clean at this stage of the prep, there isn't much waste product anyway. Anyway, enough about poops. So I'm 21 hours into this fast. I've literally only got 0.5 kilo to go. And I know every night I sleep, you obviously sweat and lose moisture through your respiration as well. So I'm definitely going to wake up 0.5 kilo lighter. So this should be, I thought I was going to have to do hours of cardio. I thought I was going to have to jump in the sauna and sweat my ass off. But I think I'm just going to, not eat and not drink much at all. And that should be all I need to do for the 24 hours before weigh-in. And then I've got 30 hours between weigh-in and the comp to carb up. Usually I'd carb up heavily for the 18 hours before stage time. So the fact I've got 30 hours to refeed is more than enough. So over that 30 hours, I'll probably take in about 600 to 700 grams of carbs, which isn't a lot for me. I've generally carved up on 1,000 grams of carbs in the past, but I thought I'll be conservative. And if I'm still flat on the morning of the comp, I'll have about, how long? At least 3 or 4 hours from waking to stage time. So that's plenty of time to add some more carbs in if I'm still too flat on the day. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm almost there. Couple days to go. Carb up soon. So the fact I'm starved and dehydrated, it's not phasing me too much because I know the end is near. And other than the comp itself, I'm really focused on reversing post-show. You know, I'm going to go home after the comp and have a big meal of literally kangaroo vegetables, low-carb potatoes, and then eat my normal diet foods for the rest of the day. And Monday, my first training day back, the reverse starts. I increase carbs a bit, I increase fats a bit, and we see how the body responds. but I'm super focused on reversing really well this season and just getting into a really good place, metabolically speaking, where I'm eating, 4,000 plus calories a day, and I'm still very lean, and just working my calories up slowly over the course of the off season, probably taking my body weight from 82, 83 kilograms where I would have sat if I didn't fast, and building up to maybe 90 kilograms. So maybe putting on 7 or 8 kilograms over the next 12 months, just slowly, getting my calories up to as high as possible over that period as well, and putting myself in just the best position possible for when I decide to diet down and compete again, which at the earliest I think would be in 18 months' time. So I like the idea of doing season A next time, so I get to diet over summer. I've never done that before. I'd love to diet over the summer months. I hate dieting in winter, so I might think about a comp in 18 months' time, depending on what the pro calendar looks like and where the comps are, and look at doing that. If not 18 months, then 24 months. Season B again in 2 years, and I'll be good to go. The reason I wouldn't do 12 months is just because it's not a long period of time for me. I'm an experienced lifter. I've been training for 24 years. I've obviously gone backwards a lot over the last, 12 years. I've gone backwards in the last 12 years. So mostly after the birth of my child. So I'd love a bit more time to try and progress from where I am now, because I didn't go backwards because I was old and broken. I went backwards because I stopped eating, training, and sleeping like I used to. So I feel like now that I'm back in the groove and my lifestyle is more similar to that which it was 12 years ago, I feel like I can actually progress back to towards where I was. I'm not saying I can be better than where I was back in 2010 physically. I'm not saying it's impossible either. I will definitely, that's definitely the aim, to be bigger and better and stronger than I ever was before over the next few years. But I'm not sure. I'm 38. I don't feel old at all. But I know I'm getting older, and obviously the older you get and the longer you train for, the harder it is to make progress. But I still feel I've got progress to make. So I'm really looking forward to the next few years and just being a bodybuilder again. And I got to live up to the title of a professional athlete now. So I love pressure. So the fact I have a title, I think, will aid me in being even more compliant and consistent and train harder and everything else that comes with trying to be the best natural bodybuilder I can be. So yeah, a bit of a long one today. I'm not sure how many of you will have stayed to listen to the whole thing, but basically just, wanted to talk through why I was so emotional after the national comp, because I really felt like I'd lost a lot of what I valued in myself after the birth of my child, and doing so unexpectedly well at the ICN Nationals, it just showed me that I'm still here, and maybe I haven't lost as much as I thought I had, and maybe I do still have the potential to be as good or better than I was in the past. And that was awesome. That was really awesome to feel. I don't get very emotional very often, but it was awesome. So yeah, I guess I'll do these updates going forward. I'll do some reverse diet updates because I know a few of you really want to. Some of you probably don't, but some of you really do want to hear about how I go with the reverse and what I do diet wise and training wise going forward. So yeah, I probably won't do them every week because I can't be fucked, to be honest. And you'll probably get sick of listening to them every week. But I'll do the short little 90-second reels again. and I'll do a reverse diet update every now and again. Maybe just when I change things, diet wise, training wise. When I alter something, then maybe I'll do an update. Wish me luck for the comp in 2 days, and it's an enhanced comp as well. So it's the WFF Australian titles. So I'll be up against some juicy boys, but I've done some enhanced comps before and I've done quite well. So I'm just looking forward to being as good as I can and being in better condition than I was 2 weeks ago, and finishing off the season on a positive note. No matter where I place, I know I'm going to look the best I've looked for a very long time. So I'm super happy about that. A little bit insecure about the fact I'm going to weigh 79.9 kilograms for weighing, and that's the lightest I've been since I was 18 years old. The last time I was 79 kilos, I would have been 18, and I'm now 38. So I've spent the last 20 years doing absolutely nothing. Obviously, I've progressed not a kilogram, but that's false. I obviously wasn't 0% body fat at 79 kilograms back then. But anyway, might have to do some cardio now. Fuck. All right. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.